Donald Trump is issuing a very desperate ultimatum to Iran right now. Trump passed the message along to Barack Ravid, his personal stenographer over at Axios, after the markets closed on Friday. Here's the desperate ultimatum. Donald Trump and Trump regime officials are saying the United States is demanding of Iran the following, both directly and through regional intermediaries. Iran must issue today, on Saturday, a public statement clarifying that the Strait of Hormuz is open and including a commitment not to fire at commercial vessels passing through the area, 3 senior American officials said in a briefing to reporters on Friday. A second U.S. official said there will be harsh consequences if Iran refuses, quote, if it is not their position tomorrow, meaning Saturday in Iran, it is not going to be a great day for them. Nope, it will not be a great day for them. Meanwhile, a U.S. official also telling Barack Ravid that Iranians reached out to the Trump administration after 2 days of skirmishes earlier this week and sought further talks to resolve the dispute. The Iranians told us, we screwed up, Donald. We screwed up. We made a mistake. Let's keep on talking, the official told Barack Ravid as part of this cosplay fan fiction. That did not happen. The Trump regime just continues to lie. If they think that this ultimatum is going to work, it is absolutely pathetic. That's the lesson that they've gleaned over the past 5 months. Yeah, let's just threaten Iran. Please give a statement saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open. And if you don't do it, Iran, we're going to bomb your civilization. Yeah, you've done that about 40 or 50 times. And they're like, they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal so badly. By the way, yesterday, didn't CENTCOM post the following? This was a CENTCOM post. Claim. Iranian state media claims that transit through the Strait of Hormuz is only permitted through routes designated by Iran. And then CENTCOM has a sign for false. Then they write truth on the CENTCOM account. Truth. Iran does not control the Strait of Hormuz. Since early May, U.S. forces have helped facilitate the successful transit of more than 800 commercial vessels and 380 million barrels of crude oil through the vital international trade corridor. You don't all remember? Of course, the Strait of Hormuz has been open for months now, according to CENTCOM. So why, if CENTCOM says that everybody knows the Strait of Hormuz is open and that Iranian media is lying when they say that only the Iranian routes are the permitted routes for ships to transit through, then why is the United States demanding that Iran, through its regional intermediaries, issue a public statement to clarify the Strait of Hormuz is open? The Trump regime says it's always been open right there. Let's talk about what's really going on as well. Tehran has not asked the U.S. to resume peace talks, a senior Iranian official tells Dropsite's Jeremy Scahill, rejecting Trump's recent claims. In addition to that, though, this is sourced numerous other ways. Professor Morandi, who's with the negotiating team in Iran, says fake news, don't listen to Axios or don't listen to Donald Trump. They lie about everything, right? Donald Trump even posted this one. I mean, isn't it pretty obvious to you that these senior administration officials, like, is Donald Trump? Remember when Donald Trump was a failed business person in the 80s? He was his own PR person, and he would call up and he gave himself a different name and he would say, I want to call on behalf of Donald Trump. I mean, this source is speaking exactly like Trump. So it's either Trump or Witkoff or Kushner or whoever. And separately, just through their public state media in Iran, Fars, Iran denies reports that there are new Iran-U.S. negotiations planned next week, calling them false and saying any updates will only come through official channels. Iran says fake news, ignore Trump and Axios. There will be no talks until the Trump regime follows through on its commitments. Another source close to Iran's negotiating team calls the reports claiming new talks false and unfounded. Going back to Jeremy Scahill's reporting over here, the officials said This is the Iranian official told Dropsite. Any diplomatic engagement has come only from the mediator's insistence from Qatar and Pakistan pushing mediation about the U.S. expressing a desire to create a path for Trump to withdraw from the war. Iran also warned it will not tolerate U.S. attempts to bypass its agreed monitoring mechanism in the Strait of Hormuz, calling any violation of the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding a breach of the entire agreement. Any violation will be met with a response, the official added, and Iran has been saying from March they will not give up the Strait of Hormuz. And they say this because they cannot trust the U.S. They couldn't trust the U.S. before, but during June 2025 negotiations, the United States attacked Iran through Operation Midnight Hammer, as it was called. Then in February of 2026, when there was a deal reached with an Oman mediator, that's when Trump and Netanyahu attacked Iran, killed the 168 girls in Manab, killed lots of other Iranians, and then invaded Iran. And there was a war for about 39 days. And so for Iran, control over the Strait of Hormuz through the IRGC route is existential. That is its leverage. And it said that it will be working with Oman as part of their regional port authority to control traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. That's what they've been setting up, and they are not going to give that up. They're not going to give that up ever, and they will fight to the death over that. And as Donald Trump has threatened the Iranian civilization, he's actually emboldened them and moved them kind of closer together in a more unified way. And Iran is ready for war. Iran is ready for war. Nobody in the United States wants this war. Like nobody, maybe Donald Trump and a group of neocon war hawks and Netanyahu bootlickers and others, they maybe want this war. But most Americans do not want this. Our economy is suffering. By the way, gas prices are going up right now, not down. Gas prices are now heading up to $4 a gallon again. Donald Trump can try his gimmicks with, I'm doing 25 Freedom gas stations in Pennsylvania. Like, okay, how are you funding these things? And gas there is $3.47 because I'm the 47th president. They went up to $3.57 though. And it's being subsidized by some source, but it's 25 stations when there's 150,000 like gas stations in the United States of America. And that same gas station that's been rebranded as Trump Freedom Center sounds a little communist to me. Well, when Biden was in office, it was $2.99 a gallon. When Trump was in office in 2025, it was like $3.15 or $3.10 a gallon in 2025. So great work, it's higher. But we all know that gas prices are high and going up, and Americans can't afford anything. Oh, by the way, senior U.S. officials are now just saying this. If we don't get the nuclear dust, we don't have a deal with Iran. Okay, well, did you read the memorandum of understanding that you signed and Donald Trump held up in Versailles? Because it says that before the nuclear file is discussed, there are preconditions, including giving Iran $300 billion, which was just a fraudulent provisions that the United States never attempted to do or never attempted to even request other Arab nations do. How do we know that? When Rubio was in the Middle East, he goes, why would I ever talk about that? It required the U.S. to unfreeze funds to Iran, which the United States never did. It required a true and durable ceasefire in Lebanon. And then shortly after the MOU was entered into, 24 days ago, what did the United States do? They entered into a separate MOU with Israel and Lebanon that basically says that Israel has control over southern Lebanon and so-called security zones for the foreseeable future, which directly contradicted the MOU with Iran. So at every step of the way, they were never going to get to the nuclear file. And also, senior U.S. officials say the following. Iran told them, this is what the senior U.S. officials are saying too, as they spread their lies after the market closed. A senior U.S. official said Iran told them that these shipping attacks came from an errant part of their system, that when Iran said from their Navy, remember over the VHF signal Saipan Navy, you must use the IRGC route or we will shoot. And then they said, Saipan Navy, we have shot your ship. We have shot your tanker for not using the IRGC route. This is Saipan Navy. This is a warning to all other ships. Use the route that's designated by the IRGC and you will be safe. Use the other routes, we will shoot you. Well, according to the US officials, they said that was an errant part of their system and Iran was like, we're sorry. We didn't mean to do that. I mean, the propaganda from the United States is not even good propaganda. It's like the dumbest, stupidest stuff they're putting out right there that they expect people to believe. And ultimately, what's the goal? Like, what is the strategy here? The strategy is just to threaten, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your civilization, and that's going to scare Iran? Well, clearly that's not working. What you're showing, what the Trump regime is showing is that this will just be a constant harassment, a constant predatorial behavior. So Iran's response is, okay, well, of course we're going to control the Strait of Hormuz. That's our leverage here. That's our discussion. And by the way, we also will control the Bab el-Mandab Strait through the Houthis in Yemen. We haven't even played that card yet. And that's where this could all be heading, folks. And one of the things I also pointed out as well from my reporting this morning is that the United States has put 2 aircraft carriers right there in the Persian Gulf, as close as it's ever been to the coast of Iran. You've got the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George H.W. Bush, respectively around 250 kilometers to 220 kilometers from Iran's coast, well within Iran's ability to hit those carriers with missiles. I think the U.S. is trying to create a Gulf of Tonkin-like incident, which led to the escalation of the Vietnam War with Lyndon Johnson in 1964, where the United States then made up that there was an attack by the South Vietnamese regarding ship, and that never actually happened. And I think that's what we're going to be, that's what the U.S. is trying to do there. I think the U.S. will reinstate the blockade very soon, and I think things are headed clearly down an escalatory trap, obviously. I mean, you got Donald Trump today building fencing around the White House. Apparently, he's claiming he's terrified that Iran wants to assassinate him and kill him. You have Netanyahu allegedly telling Donald Trump that Iran wants to kill you, and that's why Donald Trump didn't take the Qatari Air Force One and took the old Air Force One, although intelligence communities has said that the Israeli information was not considered fully credible. Officials decided his new Qatari donated jet lacked some of the defensive capabilities. And while all of this is going on, look at what Donald Trump's doing. He's posting weird photos of himself holding a revolver, and he's posting the following. The base of the magnificent White House face around the column area at its front door. It hasn't been fixed in decades, but you can see how beautiful it will soon be. This is representative of what we are doing in Washington, D.C. Beautification and no crime. People are saying that the city hasn't been or felt like this in 100 years. Oh, are these the people who are saying that Iran called that Iran? Hello, it's Iran here. We're calling to say we're sorry that was an errant missile that hit those tankers, that we're not using the IRGC route after the SEPA IRGC Navy warned them. Also, we really want peace. We're really, can we please do a deal? It's Iran calling. We really want to make a deal. Come on, folks. It's ridiculous. And it just makes the United States look so weak and pathetic. Weak and pathetic. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.